Hi, welcome to The Ugly Truth. I'm your host, Sharuk, where we'll be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you're sensitive or you're easily triggered, just stroll, keep strolling, and move on.
So what is the ugly truth about?
So the ugly truth is about literally what it says in the tin, the ugly truth of the industries, of your ugly truth, people's ugly truth, just the behind the scenes of when things happen. It's not just about what you see, it's about what people don't know. Everybody talks about they're successful. Everybody talks about, oh, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. But no one actually talks about the ugliness of it. How many people they have to piss off, how many people they have to piss them off, how many people that they have to, dodge or, step on their toes. How many people did you sleep with to get to the top? All these things are not discussed. So it's about the elephant in the room. That is what we're talking about. That's the ugly truth.
Why now?
Why now? So the reason why we're doing this now, or the reason why I'm doing this now, is because we live in a fake world. Everybody's fake. Instagram is fake. Everybody lives this fake world of, I'm in a happy relationship. I'm in a happy job or happy business owner. I'm a happy person. Nobody talks about their downtime. Nobody talks about what really happens behind the scene or what, So this is the time where people need to get educated. Yes, and there's a lot of people that are suffering from various different either mental health or, hating on this one and hating on that one and so on and so forth. But no one's actually seeing the actual truth of what's going on.
Okay, and what do you do?
What do I do? Well, I am a informal educator, a business strategy coach, and a financial advisor. I mainly concentrate on protection and mortgage.
When you say protection, what do you mean? Like bodyguard, close body protection?
I am more mainly around insurance, so protecting your family, protecting your loved ones, protecting your legacy, which a lot of people don't understand what any of that means. And that's what, a lot of people kind of think, well, insurance is a scam. So let's, let me not do it, or let me not, I'm just going to be paying into this money. Is it even going to pay out? There's a difference. There's a difference in what the type of advice that you get and the type of, if you're going to get your insurance, and I don't want to put any companies down, I'm not trying to do that. But if you're going to get your insurances through going on to Google, you don't know what you're ticking. There's terms and conditions everywhere. So it's about kind of being properly advised.
I mean, if I was going to get insurance, that's essentially what I would do, go onto Google. So what is the disadvantages of doing that? Because I thought that was the way we all kind of get insurance, no?
Well, yes. However, there'll be a small print that says, make sure you get this looked at by an insurance advisor. Okay. The difference is that you're backed by, you've been advised. Half of the time, do you even know what you're getting? It's most of the time we're getting all these policies and everyone has fridge insurance, TV insurance, phone insurance, when you don't need any of that. You just need the one. And majority of the time, people don't even understand what insurance is or what protections they need. But anyway, we're not here to really talk about that's not what this show is about at the moment. It's more about kind of the industry and, yeah.
So, I mean, how did you get into the insurance industry?
So I've always been working around how money works, how the kind of protection, I suppose how I got into it really is when I fell sick at the age of 20, my parents had to take time off, look after me and so on. And now when I was introduced to insurance, I thought about what my family went through. And I thought, why don't people know this? Why are people not educated about this? So if there's a thing that could actually protect and make people's life easy in circumstances that are when you're sick or when you're in real need, and that will affect the whole family, why is this not being spoken about? And so I looked at it as an opportunity to educate people. I'm an informal educator. So I educated people and I go around educating people. And that's how I got into it.
Okay. Do you just mention something and I just wanted to, I guess, trigger the question. So let's say there's someone there, great savings account, they're great with their money, something happens to them. How does insurance benefit them this, like, in a different way that their savings would? What is the difference?
The difference is, okay, so let's say somebody that's got a mortgage and they've got a savings of, usually most people have got what, 3 times, 2 times their salary, their monthly salary saved. When they've got a mortgage, that's what you're supposed to have. But most people live month to month. So things like your income protection, if somebody had that, your income would be protected. That's your sick pay. Most people don't have sick pay. It's statutory sick pay. You know, so why are we not educated on this? Why are we not told about getting these stuff in place? Yeah. So why would I use my savings?
Some people wouldn't mind using their savings. I guess some people may even save for that. They say you save for a rainy day.
And how many people can save in this day? Yeah, exactly. And how many people have got more than 4 weeks? Some people don't even have 4 weeks. Let's be honest. Yeah. The average person doesn't even have 4 weeks savings in their bank account.
Yeah. Makes sense. So, I mean, you do life insurance, and I know you mentioned mortgages. Is there anything else that you sort of offer within your services?
So obviously critical illness cover, private healthcare, which is huge at the moment. Let's not talk about the NHS. We will be inviting somebody in to talk about the NHS and obviously their experience of working in the NHS. So that will be, so you'll have to stay tuned for that one.
What about someone like let me talk about myself. 2 years ago, didn't believe in insurance. What would you say to me 2 years ago?
First of all, I'll ask the question of, if you died tomorrow, who would be paying for your funeral? Most people would say, my mum, my dad. Okay, how much are funerals? Most people would say 5 grand. Now, it's about 3.5 grand just for your coffin. We ain't even dug you in the hole, because that's £1,500. So we've already gone past the 5 grand. You know, we ain't even done the reception. We've done nothing. There's no cars, there's nothing. So therefore, who's got 15 grand minimum, 20 grand minimum sitting in their bank account to say, all right, well, when you drop dead, here's your funeral money? Because if people had that in their account, most people would be getting married. Because that's majority of the time why people don't get married. Oh, I can't afford the wedding. Let's put the other reasons to one side. But the actual wedding, why doesn't it take place? It's because most people can't afford the actual wedding.
I understand.
But yeah.
So essentially, I guess that's where the GoFundMe's come into.
Yeah, GoFundMe. It's begging. Why are you begging for money? Like, you've worked your whole life and then you're going to make your family beg other people to pay into a GoFundMe. I think it's embarrassing. I think it's a great idea that somebody created this GoFundMe way of asking for money. However, why am I putting my family through that when I'm out here wearing £110 trainers? I'm out here where having a 700 or £500 bag. So why am I doing that? But yet I can't put certain things in place to pay for my family. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, so that's why I think, get your priorities straight, put things in place, don't let your family through that. Don't put your family through that.
So, okay, so your show is called The
Ugly Truth.
Mm-hmm. What's the ugly truth about insurance? Because we all have perceptions of insurance being quite ugly.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have had ugly experiences. So what's the ugly truth of insurance?
So the ugly truth of insurance, is competitive. It is very, very competitive. First of all, let's talk about the industry itself. There's 2 ways of getting into the industry. There's obviously you can become a PAYE, where you just get your basic every month, and possibly a top up of commission. Or you can go self-employed and run a business within a business. So there's two ways of doing it. And what I mean by that is there'll be a network that hold your FCA regulation and look after your compliance. Now, I'll be honest, that will be the best route to go into it just because of the amount of money that you'll be making if you are money driven. As well as obviously, you know, you want to protect people and you want to go into that industry, that would be the best way to it. If you want to go into the PAYE way and get your 25k, believe it or not, 25k is probably what you're making a week, and you're getting that a month. So let's do the maths here. You're going to be working 8 o'clock till 8 o'clock in the evening because of sales, and then you will be earning 25k, clearing 2 grand. You can be doing that in one day, working for yourself. So the two, which one would you go for? I obviously went for working for myself. I get the flexibility. I can work from anywhere. And there's pros and cons. So when obviously you work for yourself and you have the commission-based business within a business, people don't understand that what clawbacks mean. People don't understand that what persistency means. People come into this industry thinking, oh, well, I've just made, 1,500. I've just made £700 of one policy. I've just made whatever it is of one policy. But you have to, when you really break it down, you've actually not made that. You've actually made £2 or £1 because that client has to stay on the books for a minimum of 4 years or 2 years, depending on the type of clawback you have and the type of contract you have with the providers. Now, that won't be you that do that. That will be the network that will have the contracts in place with the providers. Are you following me so far?
Yeah.
Cool.
You said clawback.
What does clawback
Clawback
mean?
sounds negative.
What is clawback? So clawback is when a client takes a policy out today and decides to cancel within a year or so on, the network would then claw the money back. It's just like you buying something from H&M or whatever store and you've gone to refund. They will be in the minus because you've refunded a garment because it's faulty. They can't put that faulty item back on the store, so it becomes a clawback on the business. And that's all it is. It's a clawback on the business, on your business.
Okay. So, I mean, I think we all know that insurance there's a big part of insurance that's like a commission-based sales job. Does that not make the sales people, i.e. yourselves, kind of hungry in a sense and quite persistent in making sure you do sell? Doesn't matter if the person actually needs it, you just want to sell because you want to make money.
Well, give me one good reason why you don't need life insurance.
I might be old.
Why don't you need it?
Because I might be old.
So what?
My time's up in 5.
So how do you know that? Your time could be up in one day, but why don't you need it? I'm not selling.
Need it? If I know I've got 5 to 10 years left, why do I need life?
Who's paying for your funeral?
I don't have no children.
Who's paying for your funeral?
I don't have children. I don't have family.
But who's paying for your funeral? I'm going to keep going back to it. Who's paying for that? The most basic thing.
Okay, I want to be cremated.
Who's paying for that? Do you see my point? Everybody needs it. So therefore, it's not a hardcore sell. I am not selling you a car. You're not coming into a car showroom and telling me, oh, I need to buy, oh, maybe, and I'm trying to convince you whether you need this car or not. Everybody needs it. Every household needs it. And this is why the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor, because of mindset. The rich stay rich because they pass on legacy. Regardless if I am old or I am young, I'm going to have a policy that I will pass on to my next, I don't know, kids, cat, wherever. I had a client that said, oh, I want to insure 1.4 to the cat. She had 4 children. She died 6 months later. The cat home was given 1.4.
She left 1.4 to her cat.
To her cat.
And left the kids broke.
She didn't want to give them the money. They didn't treat her very well.
Okay. And that was from insurance.
That was from insurance. So treat your parents well.
Okay. I'm not me. I'm just giving you a scenario. I'm rich. I'm a multi-millionaire. Well, I don't need insurance.
Well, who's paying your inheritance tax? Because it's now state value. So now the king, because it's no longer our queen, is going to want their money, their inheritance tax. So we're going to need to mitigate that in some form of way in order for your money, your rich money, stays in your bank account. Why would you spend that? Why wouldn't you just take it out of an insurance policy that you've possibly paid £150 because you're rich? So you're covering your legacy money, or sorry, your inheritance tax money, and then you're just using that money.
But what is inheritance tax? For those that don't know, i.e. myself.
Inheritance tax. So it's it's your state value. So let's say your state value is, I need a calculator for this now, because no one does maths these days. So let's say your state value is £500, and £500. Sorry, state your value is 500k, and from that your pause. Sorry, I just got distracted.
Oh, sorry.
No. Yeah. Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you need to ask the question again.
Okay, cool.
Nice. Go back from the calculator bit, I reckon.
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just get the calculator up.
Because all these things will cut anyway. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Did you like it? Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
Ready?
It's rolling.
Okay, so let's say your state value is 500k. So 500k. Now, I'm not the greatest at math, so for those that want to comment, take away on a single person, it's 300k, which is your, sorry, let me just do that again. 500 take away 325k, which is your cap, your inheritance tax cap. You're left with 275. 40% of that you will be taxed as your inheritance tax. That's what you will have to give to probate for your state value. Now, if you don't give that to the state value, all they'll do is just come and just take all your state. So everything you've worked hard for, they'll just take it.
So when you say state value, in order for me to obtain my assets,
Yes.
I need to pay that, or I won't be able to get, i.e. assets, e.g. state value.
Yes, basically correct. So basically your assets will then belong to
State.
the state.
That's crazy.
Does that kind of make sense? So we mitigate that by an insurance policy. It's the easiest way of doing it. There's obviously different ways of doing it. You can gift it and so on, but that's when you're actually done with your portfolio. Because once I gift my property, let's just say I gift my property to my brother or to my child, in 7 years, believe it or not, that property belongs to them, which means they can kick me out. They can put charges on my house and kick me out because now the house belongs to them. And if I wanted to buy another property, I can't. It will look like I don't have a property. So if you only really gift is when you're done with your portfolio. That's my advice. Some people would say differently, but I'm not an IFA, and I just want to say that. I'm not an IFA, so therefore you'll have to sit with an IFA or a estate planner to go through that. I just know the basics.
So I would say if I'm stupid rich and I look at buying an insurance policy as an investment, so I'm investing a certain amount a month, and because I have so many assets, I'm probably paying a lot. I'd rather just not do that, and I just have the money, or will leave the money for the inheritance tax, if that makes sense. I kind of see the same investment I'm putting in monthly into insurance as the same amount of difference I'd probably have to pay for the inheritance tax. Does that make sense?
That does.
So let's say the inheritance tax was how much?
So it was 275. Take away your 40% off that.
So 40% of 275. I feel like I'd probably put that into an insurance policy over time. So why do I need insurance again?
Okay. Do you know your expiry date?
Of
Your death.
I'm just gonna listen to you explain this.
Okay, because let's just say your planning of your insurance policy is 40 years. Let's just say. And then, but you die tomorrow. Are you going to have that amount of money tomorrow? But you're planning to have that amount of money within 40 years. So what you're saying, what the insurance policy is saying is, if I die within the 40 years, I have got myself covered. However, if you're saying I'm going to save, you're then saying, well, I have to make sure that I die after 40 years or after I've made that amount. You're not guaranteed. You don't know your expiry date.
So no matter what I say to you right now, I need insurance.
110%.
I'm in university.
Okay.
I'm 18 years old.
Best time to get it.
Why?
You're young. You're healthy. You can get £1 million cover for close to nothing. You know, we can run a quote and we can see this. But again, you can, an 18-year-old, a 20-year-old, even I would say a 25-year-old, I would advise and seriously advise, get your policy in place from a young age, just because you'll be paying close to nothing. And I'm talking about, when I say close to nothing, you could be paying less than £10 for your policy and you can be covered for £1 million, where you will never ever see that ever again. Your policies go up every year. As you age, you become more higher risk and more prone to certain different illnesses. So therefore, while you're healthy, while you're young, get covered, get protected.
I feel as though there's this stigma whereas people don't trust you guys.
What, the insurance advisors?
Yeah, and probably just the insurance world in general.
Well, I don't blame you.
Why?
I don't blame you. I don't blame you, because you're putting your whole legacy in my hand. You're trusting me to put everything in place now, but we are backed by, obviously, the FCA. We are backed. There's different. Let me just go back to the FCA. Actually, there's two types of FCA registration. There's one that's advised and one that isn't. Those that do the hardcore sales, the ones that you're talking about, which is, I don't know if to trust you, you're hungry, you're this. That's because they're sales driven. They're very salesy. Why? Because they're not advice. They're allowed to be cold calling. They're allowed to do that. Whereas if your FCA registration is covered on the back of just advice, then that's all you're doing. You're advising. You're getting paid on the advice that you give, which means that the company, the network, going back to the network, will 110% look into the advice that you've been given to your client and will double and triple check it. It's not just okay, here's a £10 policy. Well, why did you give them that? Does that even cover their need? And why did you not cover their need? Their need could be that they need their mortgage protected, but you haven't even covered that. So it's about kind of understanding that.
I might get insurance.
You might.
You've near enough combated every question so far I had. Don't worry, there's gonna be some more.
But there's some serious, ugly things that happen with insurance and advisors. I'm gonna speak on my.
I was gonna ask, what are those ugly? Those are the things we want to know. What are
Yeah,
those
so
ugly things? Some of them.
Obviously, I was working with a company that was very male dominated, and very hungry, and very ego driven, I would say. And they literally would target their own community because that's where their target market is. And they would go to certain aunties and say, you have to get your policy now. Why? Don't force people, and then they'll get cancellations because they've been forced. This is where cancellations come in because you've been forced to do something you don't even understand, and you're misadvising or they're mis-selling. And what I mean by that is they were missing out certain health questions. Or do you know what? You can't even blame certain advisors because they weren't even trained properly. So it wasn't that I'm coming into an industry I don't know nothing about. I fell in love with the product, the services, and so on. However, I need to be trained and trained on the important questions to ask. That is left with obviously the heads of that company or that network to train you and to make sure and safeguard you. And if they're not doing that, then you will end up getting in trouble. So what I'm trying to say to you is be careful of who you're around or who you're being advised by, because not everybody is good at giving the advice. Some people will sell you a dream and deliver you a nightmare. And that's the ugly truth.
I take it you don't work for that company.
I don't work for that company no more, no. I've moved over to a nice company, one that is compliant, one that is heavily compliant, one that safeguards the client more than safeguards anybody, and then safeguards the advisor. So you're safeguarding both ends. Once you've got that kind of safety, you feel I can sleep better at night, knowing if my client wants to go and make a claim tomorrow, their policy is going to get paid out. And if they don't get paid out, the company I'm with will have to pay them out, or there'll be a sue claim. So therefore, it's be careful who you go with, you know. And when we're looking at who to join or what network to join, this is my advice that I would give. Go on Company House. Look how many times they've changed their name. It's simple, you know, simple things. Look on what their reputation are. What does whole of market mean? How many providers do they work with? What is it that they're offering their client? What does the client journey look like? These are the questions that you need to be asking when you're coming into this industry. It's not just about, oh yeah, but I like you, so I want to work with you. Okay, you like my energy, that's fine. But it needs to be a little bit more than that. Don't be sold on by what I say. Be sold by what I do and who I'm backed by. This has been interesting. It's been emotional, and we'll see you on the next show. What did you say?
Hi.
Hi, welcome to
my show.
okay, cool.
Welcome to my
Right,
show,
cool.
or the show.
Yeah.
My name's Sharuk, and we're going to be talking about... No, sorry. Welcome to my show.
The ugly truth. The ugly truth,
The
yeah.
ugly truth. We're going to be talking about everything good, bad, and that ugly.
Right, we're ready?
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to my show. My name's Sharuk, and blah, 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 blah. Let's do that again. Right, okay. So, hi, welcome to the show. Let's do that again because we've just missed out the whole name.
Welcome to my show, the name.
Yeah. No, welcome to the Ugly Truth
Yeah.
show. I'm Sharuk, your host. Okay, cool. Hi, welcome to the Ugly Truth show. No, let's do that again.
Just take a breath. Deep breath. You got it, no worries.
This is harder than I expected, huh?
That's fine. Point the mic a little bit more.
Higher.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
It, that's it.
Here?
Spot on, nice.
Okay. Hi, welcome to energy.
Give yourself time as well. Hi. So, give them that.
I'll give them. So no, yes, I'm not on a sales call.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Ready? Hi, welcome to The Ugly Truth. I'm Sharuk, your host, where we'll be talking about the ugly, the good. I've just fucked it up. Why?
Yeah, that was good.
Damn.
You're getting it. That was good.
Right, what did I say?
Hi,
Fuck.
I'm Sharuk. Welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm Sharuk. Welcome to... No.
What the thing is, when I think about the camera, just talk to the camera like it's your friend.
Yeah, right.
So just like
That
you're
does-
explaining to your mate what it is, just talk to the camera like that.
Yeah.
Good advice.
That's great advice, but I just need to...
Like how you do like on like Snapchat or like whatever you post. That.
Yeah, when you're posting your videos on your phone, you do not look nervous
Uncomfortable. Yeah, because this is action.
Yeah.
This is like a test.
No, don't test.
You know, like if you're asking somebody just to run through when you put the test on, it's the whole complete different ballgame. Hi, welcome to The Ugly Truth. I'm Sharuk, your host. We will be discussing the good, the ugly, the truth, the good, bad, the ugly. Fuck! And I just made that. Come on, I nearly got it then. Right, okay, let's do this again. I'm gonna have my cup in my hand. Maybe we'll have Rain for you in our hand just to show that I've been drunk. No, we won't. So I'll probably split. All right, okay.